and 3, and we're on. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me for In Song and Story, Season 2, Episode number 6. Just a few minutes ago we were trying to decide what episode this was, and I said it's number 3, but it's number 6. Time flies. It is November the 18th. Anyway, again, thank you so much for joining me. We've kind of a couple of songs with some humour tonight. God knows we could all do with a little bit of humour towards the end of October here. And numbers are rising here in America. There's a lockdown in Ireland, all kinds of stuff. The lockdown is going to be lifted, I think, next Tuesday. Be interested to see what happens then. So this first song is a request, and it's a request for a lady named Kathy Dunnigan, and she and her husband, who sadly passed away not so long ago, used to come to Kevin Barry's, I think in Savannah, or see me someplace. I think it was Kevin Barry's. And anyway, they came over a period of several years, I suppose. And when I had said about requests, she said that her and her husband would like to play the CD of this song. This is a quirky song, to say the least. And I've done this song exactly twice in my life. The first time I did it was in Westport in County Mayo with one of our own tours in the Knockranny House Hotel, and it was late at night, and somebody had asked me, maybe it was could have been Bob Hendricks, I'm not sure, Bob, whether you did or not, but asked me to sing the song, and I sang the song, and I went down like a lead balloon. It's just not well received at all. So I kind of shelved it. And then the next time I sang the song was at the Savannah Irish Festival. I was hosting the singer-songwriter showcase. And again, somebody asked me, it might have been Bob Hendricks again, I don't know, Bob. If you're watching, I'm not sure. But it's a quirky song, it's more of a monologue than anything else. We had a wonderful time recording this here in Savannah, in the studio. It was just a blast, it was funny. And the Dady brothers were on the backing track, John and Joe Dady from Rochester, New York. And sadly again, Joe has left us not too long ago again. Great memories. So let me set the song up a little bit, if you will. There was a program that was on PBS here in America, it's an Irish program, and it was called Father Ted, very, very popular, about 3 priests out on the west coast of Ireland. The parish priest, and a younger protege, a younger priest, and then an older priest who was fond of a sup, fond of a joke, as they say, you know. And it was nothing short of hilarious. It was several seasons. But these 3 characters had a 4th character involved, and she was the housekeeper. And this woman wouldn't take no for an answer. We'll have a cup of tea. No, thank you. Oh, you will. Go on, you have a cup of tea. Typical kind of an Irish mother, but on steroids, so to speak. So let me do this song. It's called the Ramble, and it will not go smoothly. There's no question about it. It will not go smoothly. So I've been trying to do this all day, and I just can't seem to get through it. So here we go. It was a crisp October morning, somewhere the other side of Mullingar. I was heading up to Tubbercurry into Sligo and on to Ballina. I was hoping to stop by Roundstone to see the Bowrons made, and visit Carn and Ashford Castle and watch the sun on Galway Bay. Well, the day was beginning to fade. I was feeling fatigued when I spotted a glimmer of light coming from behind a clump of trees. And there was an old thatched cottage sitting behind a grey stone wall. The whole thing looked so inviting, half door, whitewash and all. Now the walking had me knackered. I was dying of the drought. So I knocked on the door, said, anybody home, anyone there can help me out. This old biddy came flying out and said, what are you doing standing out there? You're welcome here, kind stranger. She said, come in. I'll come in out of the cold. Sit down there by the fire. I'll take the chill out of your bones. You'll have a mug of strong hot tea and a ham sandwich I'm about to make. Wash it down with a drop of the pure on this cold October day. I said, not at all, ma'am, not at all. A sup of water will be okay. I don't want to put you to any trouble on the same October day. As she said, the kettle's already on the boil. The sandwich will only take a minute. It's no bother to me. It's no trouble at all. No trouble for the work that's in it. But I protested one more time. Saw she was biting her bottom lip. She stood there right in front of me. She put the hand down on the hip. She said, you will, you will, you will, you will, ah, you will, you will, you will. Go on, go on, go on, go on, you will, go on, you will. I was mesmerised. Didn't know what to say, so I said, grand. Well, she filled me up with ham sandwiches, strong tea and a drop of the pure. To tell you the truth, I was getting nervous, so I inched over toward the door. She said, will you look out at the weather? There's drizzle in the air, and the night has surely fallen. You wouldn't be safe out there. You can lie down there by the fire. I'll fix a makeshift bed, and when you leave here in the morning, you'll be well rested and well fed. I said, no, you've done enough, man. That would be too much. Besides, I have deadlines, places to go and such. But I'd like to thank you for the hospitality, the sandwiches and all. You know, if I'm ever back around these parts, I'll be sure to call. And one of her eyes began to go wobbly and the other one began to glaze. I thought to myself, Mother of God, looks like she's in a daze. She said, you will, you will, you will, you will, ah, you will, you will, you will. Go on, you will, go on, you will, go on, you will. She said, go on, you will, go on, you will, go on. Ah, go on, go on, go on, go on, you will, go on, you will. I didn't know what to do. What would you do? Huh? So I said, fair enough. Well, I slept an uneasy sleep that night, and that's telling you the very truth. I couldn't wait for the new day dawning. I was eager to get out. And when the cock he crowed in the morning, I was up like a lark. Out the door like a bolt of lightning before the dawn had finished chasing the dark. Yes, I was. Over the wall like Jack Nimble, tripping down the road. When I heard a voice from the doorway, she says, you're off now, I suppose. Would you like a few old sandwiches to help make it through the day? I said, no thanks, ma'am, I'm safe now. I'll be on my way. Now, it could be my imagination, or it could be something's not quite right. But every now and then when I'm dreaming in the middle of the night, and there she is, standing there with a mug of tea in one hand, and a plate piled high with sandwiches, and every one of them's ham. And she says, go on, go on, go on, go on, I'll go on, go on, go on. Ah, you will go on, you will, you will. Go on, you will, go on. Go on, you will, you will, you will, go on, you will, go on. Ah, go on, go on, go on, go on. You will, go on, you will. Ah, go on, yeah. Go on, go on, go on. Ah, go on, you will, go on. Go on, you will, go on, go on, go on. I'm not sure what to do with that thing. Just anyways, for Kathy, that's the third time I've ever sang a song in my life. And the first time we were back in Ireland, and that time we had a tour in Galway. After doing Westport, we were in Galway, and my wife joined me, and she was very proud. She had rented a car and drove it across the country on her Todd on her own. You know? And my brother was in the picture somewhere along the line. Jack always shows up. For those of you back in Drogheda, you know my brother Jack. And we had a night on the town, and in the morning driving back from Galway over to Drogheda, I said, "Listen, John, I have a demo I want to play you." And he was lying down in the back seat, hungover. So then this came on, go on, and he listened to the whole song, and all we saw was two hands coming up. He said, "Harry, there's something wrong with you." Anyway, the Ramble, just a great fun. Okay, the second song is a humorous song written by one of America's iconic songwriters, just died this year, died of the virus. And he was ill for a while over the last few years, married to a woman from Ireland, the great songwriter John Prine. So this is a song that was released on in 1970, either 73 or 78 on an album. It's called Please Don't Bury Me. And this also brings to mind a great story. We were out in Dolly Mitchell's pub on the road between Drogheda and Slane a couple of years ago, and an old friend, a great friend of mine from Yellowbatter, John Kelly, brought the guitar, and John knows, I think, every John Prine song. He knows more songs than John Prine himself. But he sang this song. It's called Please Don't Bury Me. Excuse me. I can tell people it was in tune when I bought it. Woke up this morning, put on my slippers, walked in the kitchen and died. Oh, what a feeling when my soul went through the ceiling. On up into heaven I did rise. When I got there they did say, John, it happened this way. I slipped upon the floor and hit your head. And all the angels said, before you passed away, these were the very last words that you said. Please don't bury me down in the cold, cold ground. Rather have them cut me up, pass me all around. Throw my brain in a hurricane and the blind can have my eyes. The deaf can take both of my ears if they don't mind the size. Give my stomach to Milwaukee if they run out of beer. Put my socks in the cedar box, just get them on out of here. Venus de Milo can have my arms, look out, it got my nose. Send my heart to the junk man, give my love to Rose. Please don't bury me down in the cold, cold ground. Rather have them cut me up, pass me all around. Throw my brain in a hurricane and the blind can have my eyes. The deaf can take both of my ears if they don't mind the size. Give my feet to the footloose, careless, fancy free. Give my knees to the needy, don't you pull that stuff on me. Well, hand me down my walking cane, it's a sin to tell a lie. Send my mouth way down south and kiss my ass goodbye. Please don't bury me down in the cold, cold ground. I'd rather have them cut me up, pass me all around. Throw my brain in a hurricane and the blind can have my eyes. The deaf can take both of my ears if they don't mind the size. Please don't bury me down in the cold, cold ground. Rather have them cut me up, pass me all around. Throw my brain in a hurricane and the blind can have my eyes. The deaf can take both of my ears if they don't mind the size. The deaf can take both of my ears if they don't mind the size. From the writing of the great John Prine, and again, many's a good night we had on the road from Drogheda to Slane and Dolly Mitchell's pub. And still there, doing great. Let's go off to Scotland for the last song. Before I do, cheers, Sláinte. I hope you're doing safe and happy out there. God only knows where we're going to be in 6 months' time, but the news on the vaccine is fairly good, so hopefully we're on the road to recovery. Sláinte. This was released in 1987 on an album called Dublin Lady. It was written by Andy M. Stewart. from Perthshire in Scotland. And the album was Dublin Lady, was himself, and Manus Lunny, a great musician from County Donegal in the northwest of Ireland. I was first, Andy, I'm sure, was first brought to my attention when I was living in Philadelphia in the early 80s. And he was part of a group that was formed in Edinburgh in 1970, 78 or something, called Silly Wizard. And there was himself a couple of, I can't remember the bass player's name, but there were two brothers, the Cunningham brothers, Phil Cunningham and Johnny Cunningham. Phil is an extraordinary keyboard player and accordion player, and Johnny was a fiddle player. And we really got to know Johnny very, very well in Philly. We used to play in a place called McSorley's in Ardmore, over there in Haverford Road, and occasionally on a Friday night Johnny Cunningham would show up with his fiddle and hop on the stage, and great times when I was playing with Terra Nova. And unfortunately Johnny died some years ago too, as did Andy M. Stewart. He died in 2015. And I had the pleasure of his company twice when he was here in Savannah for the Savannah Irish Festival. Great character, great storyteller, and a wonderful songwriter. And he's taken some of the old traditional Scottish songs and the Robbie Byrne songs and really given them a new lease of life. But in his own right, he himself was an extraordinarily talented songwriter. And it's a quirky kind of a song. It's called Take Her in Your Arms. But a man who was left or jilted or given the big E, the big elbow. I'll leave you after this. Thank you very much. For anything current, for what's happening current with me, is I'm going on the road again on Friday. I'm going up to Carrollton, Georgia, which is about an hour and some odd to the southwest of Atlanta, I think, to the Performing Arts Centre. And then this Saturday night in Thomas O'Reilly's Public House, Sandy Springs in the greater Atlanta area. And Butch Elmgren is the proprietor. Butch Elmgren has been a friend of mine for well over 20 years. So we're going to play an outdoor gig on Saturday night if it's not too cold, which is another thing. Anyway, thank you very much. Stay safe out there, and if you have any requests, please let me know. The first one was a request. I had a request from Noel Woods. We went to school together. He's down there in Australia, and I will get to it. The request is Nancy Spain. I never sang this song in my life, but I will. And if you do have any requests, let me know on private messenger. So thanks, and thanks. How does this go? Have you seen him on the corner? His lip would reach the pavement. He's been hiding from his razor. Is he not an awful sight? In love he was the purest. Now he's frightening on tourists. If he'd gone and asked his father, I'm sure he'd set him right, saying take her in your arms, tell her that you love her, take her in your arms and hold that woman tight, take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. If you're going to love a woman, be sure and do it right. Met her at a disco in a dive in San Francisco, and it all might have been different had he'd seen her in daylight. She was painted, she was scented, she drove your man demented. If he'd gone and asked his father, I'm sure he'd set him right, saying take her in your arms, tell her that you love her, take her in your arms and hold that woman tight, take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. If you're going to love a woman, be sure and do it right. Here's a pub with fun and laughter. The landlord's buying bevy. There's a session in the corner, and the crack is grand tonight. But your man who lost his woman, he's still at home lamenting. If he'd gone and asked his father, I'm sure he'd set him right, saying take her in your arms, tell her that you love her, take her in your arms and hold that woman tight, take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. If you're going to love a woman, be sure and do it right. Now depression's not a million laughs, but suicide's too dangerous. Don't go leaping out of windows in the middle of the night. It's not the fall but landing that loved or social standing. Go first and ask your father, I'm sure he'll set you right. Say and take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. Take her in your arms and hold that woman tight. Take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. If you're going to love a woman, be sure and do it right. Here's a health to all true lovers, their sisters and their brothers, their uncles and their grannies, oh this thing is black and white. If you're keen to start romancing, well it's leaping and it's dancing. Go first and ask your father, I'm sure he'll set you right. Say and take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. Take her in your arms and hold that woman tight. Take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. If you're going to love a woman, be sure and do it right. Ah, take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. Take her in your arms and hold that woman tight. Take her in your arms, tell her that you love her. If you're going to love a woman, be sure and do it right. If you're going to love a woman, then be sure and do it right. If you're going to love a woman, be sure and do it right. Take her in your arms. Thank you for joining me. Good night. Take care.